just a few more coming in, so we'll just hold a couple of seconds. So Emma, you don't need a separate embargo for TV now, do you?
No, I think we're okay, aren't we, Katie?
Yeah, hi Bex. No,
Hi.
we're fine, if that's all right. Can I just
no worries.
Sorry, can I just ask the process? Do you need us to like raise hands for questions or anything like that, or?
Yeah, if you can just use the raise hand function, that's really helpful because I can then see who needs to ask a question still on the right.
Okay, thank you.
So as no one's requested any embargoes, we'll just have an embargo of 3 o'clock today, just to give everyone a bit of time after this. But if you do need a separate embargo, just let me know in the chat and we can obviously add that on at the end. But from what I've been requested, there's not any, so. Okay, there's 20 of us in here now, so I think that is probably all of us. So if you want to ask a question, please use the raised hand function. And we don't want to break a habit of a lifetime. Tim's first up.
Please.
As always, in there first. Joe, you probably anticipated you were going to get a question about Dubai, so I'm going to ask it, and then I promise I'm going to ask an actual football question after. But just to clarify, did you know about the players going to Dubai? And if so, is there any regret in hindsight about signing that off? And if not, what was your reaction when you found out?
We had some official scenarios of players going to Dubai, and I think, you know, in the madness of that last week where things locked down and everything went the way it did, yes, there's obviously disappointment of the situation, the way it panned out, and from my perspective, it's about the moral compass and the consequences of these situations, and the players have apologised for their actions. We have dealt with it from an Arsenal perspective internally, and for me, the really important thing, going back to the morality of making these decisions when you're faced with them, is that it doesn't happen again, and for me, it's all about actions now. It's all about making sure that these players understand under these situations and under these circumstances that they are role models. They are people that are in the public eye, and we won't be able to tolerate these sort of decisions, not just from a sporting perspective, but from a global morality perspective, and that's really important.
Okay, thanks for that, Joe. On to the actual football question. Reading on Sunday, coming up face-to-face with two Arsenal legends, really, in Emma Mitchell and particularly Dan Carter. And Dan especially has spoken about, I mean, we know the situation with Emma. She went out on loan, so probably the writing was on the wall. But I know Dan has spoken, I think understandably, about kind of, I guess, being upset about about her time at Arsenal ending. What was that conversation like when that conversation came up about her going out? Was that very difficult for you?
Exceptionally difficult, because the circumstances during my tenure here is that we didn't see a lot of Dan. She got injured. She was in and out of the squad because of injury and so on. So I can understand, from her perspective, that she probably didn't get a good opportunity to really cement her place in the team. So it was just a very, very difficult one. It was a difficult one for me, with every player that we have to unfortunately part ways with. It's a difficult conversation to have, but I do stand by every decision that I make of this nature is always for the best interest of the player. Looking at the squad and looking at the players that we were bringing in and the players that we had that were performing on a regular basis, it was going to be very, very difficult for her to get back into the team. her aspirations are still to play for England. Her aspirations are still to be a top footballer. She is a top footballer, and we just felt that regular game time in another environment would have benefited her immensely to achieve her goals.
And just a really final one from me, Joe. Anna Patten signed in January, a player I know that a lot of Arsenal fans half expected to come back, but are delighted with that. A lot of defenders now, not such a small squad. And I know there are some contracts up at the end of the season. I think I'm right in saying Jen Beattie is one of them. Have there been any negotiations with her about extending?
Jen's contract is not up at the end of the season.
Okay, that answers that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe, hello. Fans have been quite angry and upset about the scenario over the last few weeks and the players who went to Dubai. Can you understand their reaction? And are you personally quite disappointed by their actions, given that it seemed to have been done without prior warning?
I totally understand the reaction of the greater public. It's a very difficult one because there's either way you look at it from all aspects and all angles you look at it. It's so difficult to say, okay, well, this is the only way that it should be tackled with, and this is the only way it should be done. And I just go back to the moral compass of the individual to understand that there are bigger things, there are greater things out there that affect and have consequences. And as much as I understand the greater public and the greater football public and the anger that they have, it's something that we just have to be better at. We just have to be better at as people, and we have to make sure that these situations don't happen again.
Is it more than just a moral argument, though? Did your players put the health of Jen Beattie's health at risk with their trip to Dubai, and how do they feel about that now?
Yeah, it's in the moment, in the situation, they probably didn't think of those situations. They probably didn't think of that. But I can guarantee you, going forward from now, that they have understood the effect of their actions. They have understood the repercussions of what could have happened. And we can't change the past. We can't change what's happened. That's the reality. And are we disappointed that it happened? Absolutely. Are we going to make sure that these situations are dealt with properly? Absolutely. And are we going to make sure that they themselves learn from their own actions, what they've done, and to make sure that these actions don't happen again?
You said they've apologised. Have they been punished at all for this?
We've taken it up internally.
And if I could just ask as well, obviously, some of your squad will have not travelled home for Christmas to see family members because of the restrictions that are in place. Have these actions of the two that did travel to Dubai, has it had an impact on the unity of the squad?
Look, I think there's all different emotions flying. There's all different situations flying around initially from that perspective. But we've had a good discussion internally. We've understood situations. We've dealt with the situation at hand. We've dealt with the severity of certain things, and in all aspects, as I said before, there's no right or wrong. You can look at it from all different aspects. Are some things, plain and simple wrong? Yes, they are. Are some things sort of a little bit black, a little bit grey? Yes, they are. And as I said, we can't change what's happened in hindsight. All we can do is make sure that there's a real understanding of what's happened and a real understanding of going forward to make sure that these things don't happen again.
And if I could just ask finally, your squad's been isolating. You've come out of isolation now, I think, and Reading were one of the few to have played. So what impact do you think that will have on the game?
Well, to have played a football match before us and have been in levels of training and rhythm, they're obviously at an advantage. So, we've obviously had a limited squad, which has been able to do the full sessions. So we'll make sure that they're ready, and that the players that probably haven't had as much work will get the work that's into them to prepare them. The preparation hasn't been ideal, but I believe in this squad and believe in the characters, and we'll make sure that we're prepared.
Thank you, Casey. If we can go to Tom Gary next, please.
Hi, Joe. Thank you for speaking to us. If I could just ask one more question about Dubai, if that's okay. I know you've said the players have apologised internally. A lot of fans have been asking for them to apologise publicly. Should they apologise to the fans in public?
I will have to leave that to the greater Arsenal. I'll have to leave that to Arsenal to make that decision from a personal fan perspective. They understand their actions. We've dealt with it in the way that we believe is right. And again, my biggest thing now is action, to make sure that when faced with these moral decisions, they make the right decision, because there is a greater consequence and a greater situation that has an effect for their actions. So from my perspective, I just want to be in a position to say we've dealt with it, we've made them understand. We hope that it won't happen again, and we will move on from here.
Okay. Could I also ask about your academy, just to clarify the situation, because obviously the match was postponed at the weekend. Can you tell us why players can't be called upon? I assume and gather that's down to the lockdown restrictions, but I just wanted to understand why young players couldn't be called upon last weekend. There's
a time frame for them to be tested and come into our bubble, and unfortunately, the time frame wouldn't have reached the ability for us to thicken our squad to bring players in to play that. So it was purely a timing thing in terms of testing, training, bubble, and into our situation.
And are you able to now call upon any of those younger players for the coming weekend, this weekend?
Yes, we won't need them, but we have put them on alert in regards to if we need to trigger it again, it will happen.
Okay, and just one more question on an unrelated topic, if you don't mind. I wondered what you've thought of the suggestion from some people in the government that footballers shouldn't be hugging in celebrations anymore. Is that something that you'll be asking the players not to do if they score this weekend? We'll
make them aware of it. It is a restriction. It is a guideline. We'll make them aware of it. I hope after the goal, the emotion takes its course for them to think about what they're doing, and we can avoid any other issues. But they will be made aware of it again. From that perspective. So, Tom, I can only say we'll do the best we can.
Thank you, Joe. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. And I'm not sure if it's Rachel or Sophie, because I can't see all of the pictures.
Hiya, thank you. It's Rachel. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Just a question on, there was a post went out today on social media about a number of players being back now from injury, back training, and a number of players back from isolation. In terms of the wider season, it's very tight at the top of the league. Does that kind of give the team a boost going into the rest of the season?
I don't want you to speak too soon. I don't want to say, because we seem to be the interesting ones when it comes to injuries and players not available. But there's a real excitement at the moment, because we're getting the full squad close to its to where it should be, and it's great. It's great from that perspective. It's been a tough time for us. In the end, pretty much all of 2020, and I'm not saying it from the football perspective, but even from the mental health and well-being of the players. That for me is the paramount issue here, and it's been tough for a lot of them. And we just want to get them excited again, get them happy, really take care of their welfare, and then the football will take care of itself.
And I know Tim touched on it earlier about having Anna back in the squad. Did that kind of add to some of the excitement? I know I saw a lot of players tweeting about it as well. So does that add to some excitement as well?
Yeah, look, it's a special signing for personally, but it's a special signing for Arsenal because she's a player that's like Lotta, like Leah Williamson, that are coming from a generation, both from Arsenal, but from a national team perspective, and I think they're going to be really, really exciting players. And from me, from my perspective, it's just great that you're able to grow with a young player that understands who we are, what we want to be, and for her to be back with us, it's just exciting times for us.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I can only see one more raised hand, which is with Emma Sanders. But if you do want to ask a question, please use the raise hand function after Emma.
Hi Joe, hope you're well.
Hi Emma, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. I didn't want to go through a press conference without talking about Viv, because we have to talk about Viv. I just wanted to know whether we obviously are in a January transfer window. Has there been any more discussions on extending her contract?
No, Viv has 18 months on her contract left, and she's smiling at the moment. She had a great training session today, and we hope she carries that out into to Sunday's game. But we're in constant contact with Viv and her agent, and understanding the situation. And as far as I know, Viv has 18 months on her contract, and she's an Arsenal player.
Nice one, thank you, Joe. Cheers.
Thanks, Emma. And Jeremy would like to ask a question next, please.
Yeah, hi, Joe. Just
Hi,
on
Jeremy.
the Villa postponement, I mean, Anita Asante at Villa was saying that there's a certain degree now of arrogance in the WSL, with the money that's come into the game, influencing players' behaviour like Dubai. Do you think that's right?
Oh, look, I understand her perspective. I understand, why she would have said those things. I think the comments are a real wake-up call for everybody. They're a real wake-up call for players understanding their obligations, and now obviously with the growing perspective of the game, that they are in the limelight, and that they are role models going forward. So we have to keep educating players, because it has grown so rapidly. It has grown so quickly from what it was 4, 5, 6 years ago, which was probably from a part-time scenario to now amazing athletes and an amazing league and an amazing environment. So it is an obligation for all of us to make these players understand their morality, their integrity, and what they mean when they put on a jersey for a big club. So I understand her comments, and I understand where they're coming from, and it's up to us to educate the players on this in a big way.
And just one last one. I mean, Casey Stoney was apologising last week on behalf of Manchester United, but should you and Manchester City really have come out and said something sooner than you have?
Look, I don't want to make comparisons to other coaches and other clubs. It's not the right thing. Arsenal have dealt with it. Arsenal have reiterated to the players their obligations and what it means. For me, apologies, they're important. We've had the apologies, but it's more importantly now actions. Actions for me are the foremost thing that's really, really important for me.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. And Glenn, please.
Oh, hi, Joe.
Hi, Glenn.
Hiya. Just a couple of questions for me. One, very briefly, what are your thoughts on the FA pausing the FA Cup until teams are allowed to play? I mean, it could well go on deep into next season like it did this year.
Yeah, I mean, I heard a coin toss, didn't I? I heard
Well,
a coin toss somewhere.
That was suggested. No one liked the idea very much. That should be kept for cricket matches. And therefore, it looks like they're just going to keep the league going until they get ready until they're allowed to play. The cup, rather.
Do you remember the last coin toss in a football match?
I did look this up. There were several in the 1970s in the European Cup.
1968, Italy, Russia, Euros, coin toss.
There was also
and Italy went on to win. And Italy went on to win the. Went on to win it. Huh? Unbelievable.
They did. There was also some in the European Cup in '69. Benfica and Leeds.
Yes. You are correct. You are correct.
About 1970. Yeah.
No, but we can't go back to the 1960s and 70s in football. Huh? We can't do that.
No, but I mean, is that a good decision just to hold the cup over until people are ready to play?
A decision that, again, from an FA perspective, I'm not privy to those discussions, but I'm sure they would be for the safety of everybody. There may be some facilities that probably aren't up to the measure of making sure that everyone's safe and protected. So I'd like to think that the decision was made purely for the safety of everybody.
And the other one, I know managers are a close-knit group. Obviously, this week we've had Vicky Jepson leaving Liverpool. There have been changes at West Ham and Spurs this season, and before the season, Birmingham. There seems to be a high turnover of managers now in the WSL, and the teams trying to get into them or stay in the league. Is that an inevitable consequence of the growth of the league and the increasing demands that clubs are putting more money into teams, therefore they want more back?
I think the industry is growing, and it is more.
Unbelievable.
Has Joe frozen for everyone else?
Oh, it's not just me then. Good.
No.
Yeah, yes.
Quite enough.
I've had problems all day here, but obviously it's Joe.
Let's see if he comes back. Yeah.
So presumably you can't record this either, since you're not getting the feed from Joe.
It's still recording because I'm the host, so that's fine. So hopefully he's going to drop back in now.
But it won't be recording Joe, will it? Until because you can't hear him.
No. Whatever he's saying, he'll have to repeat. Yeah, I've just messaged him.
I've just put some more coins back in the mid.
Welcome back. You were just saying the industry, and then you froze. Talk about managers.
Look, first of all, it's always sad to see coaches, lose their role and have to leave situations because it is difficult. It is difficult. Each situation is difficult. Each environment is difficult, and and look, it's part and parcel of what we sign up for. I've said it a few times. We're two losses away from being sacked, and there seems to be a real interest in coaches' futures and who's going to be sacked. It's another interesting one. I've seen the betting on coaches that get sacked. You bet on people that get sacked. I've seen it on some of the websites and stuff. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a market which is obviously rife and open to abuse from people who actually know what's going to happen, which is daft, and the bookmakers want to run that. Yeah, but is it a sign that the league is growing up in a way? I'm not saying it's a good thing,
Totally.
but is it a sign that the league is growing up with that kind of extra pressure?
Yeah, you have to be in it to accept the pressure, to accept the scrutiny, to accept the the experts and the opinions and the and what comes with it, it can be a lonely place at times, but it's a great place at times too. So look, it's synonymous to the ongoing growth of the game and the pressure and the demands. So I agree with you there.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Joe.
Wonderful. And Alex has her hand up, please.
Yeah. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Alex.
2 quick ones from me. Kind of the first one, with all these postponements, obviously we got 5 out of 6 matches postponed last weekend. Should this keep happening again, are you almost fearful that football's going to stop again?
Look, it's a definite possibility. It's a definite possibility. There is the importance of what's happening out there and and making environments safe and making environments conducive to the safety of other people is paramount. So yes, we could have a situation, and I wouldn't be surprised if this keeps going on. With what happened last year, where the league may have to look at other alternatives. So it will be disappointing. As I said, it's been very, very difficult from day one to navigate. Every day brings a different challenge, whether it's a protocol, whether it's a training exercise, whether it's players that are just struggling with well-being and mental health issues. So it's been very tiring and very, very difficult. So we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out.
And focusing on the match that you do get to play this weekend, what are your general expectations of the match?
Look, there's definitely a lot of excitement in our camp to get playing again, and it's been a great week with some of the group. Obviously, the other ones in isolation joined us a little bit later, but it's been great in terms of the excitement of getting playing, and we're looking forward to hopefully the rest of the season that's hopefully goes our way. We've been happy about the way we've been playing. We've been playing some really good football. We've I think really stepped it up in that regard. And as I said, if we can keep the squad fit and healthy, I think we'll be looking forward to a second part of the season.
Good luck this weekend, Joe.
Thanks, Alex.
Right, I think that's all. We've not got any further questions in the chat or hands raised, so we'll look forward to getting back to the games and seeing you all maybe post-match on the press conference, and speak to you all again soon.
Well done all. Well done.
Thanks guys. Take care.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.